Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Laura, for those of you that do not know, and today's video is going to be centered all around beach slash just summer romance books. And I feel like a lot of people just kind of associate the genre overall with summer. They're like, oh, like summer contemporary romance, like that's just like what you read during the summer. But for me, since I read romance all year long and that's basically it, there's like a subgenre of like the ones that are specifically more fun to read during the summer. And in my experience, it's usually the books that take place during the summer. So you will see that as a trend in today's video, but I'm just gonna get started and share with you guys the recommendations. Also, thank you guys for being so patient with me posting. I just had my wisdom teeth out and I couldn't film for like a week. My face was like out to here. It was so bad, but I'm feeling a lot better. Also, quick reminder, if you guys are not reading my Wattpad story, I know that I've had a lot of new subscribers come in since I've probably talked about it last on my channel, but I write a story on Wattpad called Friends, Lovers, or Nothing. It's a contemporary romance set in college. Really fun stuff. I post new chapters every single week, including today. So if you want something fun to look forward to every single week, you should check out my book. But for now, let's get into the summer beach recommendations. First book on my list is called When August Ends, and it's by Penelope Ward, who I absolutely love. I talk about her all the time on my channel. This book follows a girl who lives in a lake house, and on her property she also has like a smaller like little lake house that they rent out every single year. And so this specific year, this man decides to rent the little house for the whole entire summer, which is kind of unusual. The first time that they meet, she ends up completely embarrassing herself in front of this man. He's also a little bit older than her. She's like about to be college aged, but she's not planning on going away to college because she has too much that she has to take care of at the house. She has a lot of family and past baggage that affects her. So she kind of ends up getting a little bit more than she bargained for with this man who's staying at the small house. He ends up helping a lot around the property, and she kind of starts to fall for him. He's not really interested in her in that way, so it kind of progresses from there. But like I said, this is one of those books that takes place during the summer, so it sets like a really good summery vibe, and I feel like this is definitely one of those more than meets the eye books. I feel like that's how all of Penelope Ward's books are, and I just find her writing really, really great, so I highly recommend this book. Next book on my list is another one that I love, and that is All Grown Up by Vi Keelan, who I also talk about all of the time. And this is actually kind of a different book because it's age gap, but the woman is older, which I feel like age gap, it's like almost always the man is older. I don't know why. But in this one, the woman is older. She's recently divorced and she's looking for something, and she happens to find this guy on her dating app, but it turns out that she actually knows him from when her family used to vacation next to this other family at this beach house, and he was actually the son of the family that lived next door. He was older, but like not completely older. Now he's like 20s, late 20s, she's like late 30s, so the age gap isn't too crazy in my opinion. But anyways, she ends up kind of getting to know this guy, even though she's very apprehensive because she just thinks she's old and she's like not sure how to navigate a new relationship after being divorced. But I really, really love this book. Again, I feel like Vi Keelan's books are just always such a pleasure to read, and they always just have a really fun, addictive element to them. So I really love this one, especially because again, it does have a lot of very summery scenes as they go revisit these beach houses and all that. But I really love this book. I think it's really summery, and I think you guys will like it too. Next up, a YA book, which I have like a combination of new adult, and YA. Those ones are adult books. This book is YA. It's called Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. This is one of my favorite YA contemporary romance books. I think it's so fun. It's about this girl who has this like online guy that she's talking to, and he's from California, and she is going to visit her father in the same town that this boy is from in California, but she's too scared to tell him that she's coming. So she just goes blindly, and she's like, maybe I'll run into him, maybe I won't. While she's there, she ends up getting a job at this museum, and there's this boy who works at the museum who drives her absolutely insane. And yes, it's the same boy that she talks to online, and it's very obvious. It's not like a secret, so I'm not spoiling the plot at all. But it kind of goes from there, and it just kind of showcases her summer in California. I just think this book is so fun, and I am obsessed with this like plot of like knowing each other in real life and online and not knowing. If you read my book, like I was talking about, Friends, Lovers, or Nothing, it has that concept in it. So if you're into that, or if you do read my book, you would like this book as well. So highly recommend it. I also just love Jen Bennett's writing. I've read other books by her and I've always really enjoyed them, so I highly recommend this one. Next up is a series, but it is one of my favorite summer series of all time, and that is Lost and Found by Nicole Williams. This series follows a girl, and you can just read the first book if you want, but it is a series. It follows a girl who ends up moving in with her mom's friend's family for the summer because her mother is kind of sick and tired of her being disrespectful and not really following the rules. So she sends her away for the summer and hopes that, you know, this will kind of give her a little bit of discipline. She sends her off to this like cattle farm, I believe is what it is, in Montana, and she has to work there for the summer. There is a boy who works there. He's the son of the family, and he's like very pristine, good boy, and she's kind of like the bad girl. So I really love that trope, first of all, but the whole book is just so good. I love the tension, I love the build of the relationship. It's just really great, and I absolutely love the writing. So highly recommend this one. They're super fast paced, so if you're usually not into series, try this. I promise the first book like flew by. Then you can read the rest, or you could just read the first one and that's totally fine too. It's not like a cliffhanger. So highly recommend that series. I talk about it all the time, but I talk about it for a reason. Another summer romance book that I just love is Him by Elle Kennedy and Serena Bowen. This is also like a duology, but you could just read the first book as a standalone. That's perfectly fine. This book follows two boys who are both hockey players, and they grew up going to the same hockey camp, and they were best friends, but something happens and they have a falling out and they stop talking all through college. Then they both return to this camp to be counselors, and they're roommates there, and they kind of have this weird tension because of what happened in their past, but they decide to be friends again, and it kind of goes from there, and it's a romance, and it's fantastic, and I highly recommend it. I love Elle Kennedy. Like, I would recommend like the Off-Campus series, or, you know, all of her other books too, but obviously this book takes place during the summer. They work as camp counselors, so I feel like that kind of adds to like the fun summer spirit of it all, and I just really enjoy this book. I love the romance. I love the hockey player aspect. It's like a hockey camp, but it's really fun, and I highly recommend it. And also, like I said, it is a duology, so there's a second book, but you don't have to read it. It doesn't end on a cliffhanger. However, I love both, but you could just read the first one and that would be fine too. So highly recommend. Next book on my list is another YA one, and that is I'll Meet You There by Heather Demetrios. I used to talk about this book on my channel all the time in like 2015 or something, and I used to be obsessed with it, and I still am obsessed with it. I really want to reread it this summer. This book follows a girl who works part-time at a motel. She's saving to go to art school in the fall. Her mother lost her job, so she's kind of like left to her own devices to make up the money for her tuition. So she's working at this motel, and then there's this guy who ends up working at the motel with her, and he was a Marine, and he went to Afghanistan, and he ended up losing his leg. So he comes back to America and works at the motel with her, and they kind of form this unlikely friendship, and it's just so fun. They work in the motel and they like clean the pool area, and like it just has like a summery like motel vibe. I don't know if that's a thing and I just made it up, but maybe I did. But it's like a summery vibe, and I really love the relationship in this book. It's a lot deeper than meets the eye, and there's actually a lot to offer for like a YA book. It gets pretty deep. Not that YA doesn't get deep, but I feel like sometimes there's a little bit of a lack in like emotion between characters. Sometimes the characters are written kind of young, which isn't necessarily a bad thing at all, but I'm just saying there's a lot of maturity and a lot of growth that you experience in this novel that I don't always see in other YA romance books. So just saying that, nothing wrong with that. However, I just really recommend this book. I think it's so wonderfully done, and I love the relationship in it. I love the building of the relationship in it. It's just phenomenal all over, so really recommend it. Next book on my list is Listen to Your Heart by Casey West. And now I just want to say really quickly, if you haven't read Casey West, her books are just like the definition of summer. They're all just super fun, fast-paced, romancy YA contemporary books, and I love all of them, literally every single one. This one in particular I just wanted to recommend. I feel like I don't talk about it enough, and I really love it. This is actually the exception to like summer books only taking place during the summer, because this one does take place during the school year. However, the girl lives on a marina, which is like, I don't know, like a docking station for boats. Is that what a marina is? I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it just kind of gives off a beachy vibe to me. I don't know. But anyways, the book is about a girl who ends up becoming like the unexpected lead of this podcast that her school's putting on because of a class that she's in, and the podcast is to kind of give students anonymous advice. They can call in and then they give them advice, and there's this one guy who continually keeps calling in asking for advice on this girl, and the main character thinks she has an idea of who he's talking about, and she's really like putting her all into this, giving him advice and all that. But then she kind of slowly starts falling for him, and she doesn't know who he is necessarily. She thinks she might, but she's not sure. And the book kind of just goes from there, and it's really, really fun. I love like a subtle mystery in the midst of a romance book. I just think it makes it really exciting to read. Like I said previously though, Casey really just knows how to hit a home run with a summer contemporary book. By Your Side, The Distance Between Us, Villain Boyfriend, like she has so many great books. So yeah, just check out all of her books, but this one in particular I wanted to highlight today. Okay, the last recommendation. You knew that you were not going to see a summer beach read recommendation from me without the mention of my queen, Abby Glines, okay? I saved it till the end because I knew you were waiting for it. If you watch me, I knew you were waiting for it. So here we go. The Rosemary Beach series. You need to read this series. It's phenomenal. There are 13 books. It's very dense. However, they are all so short, so movie-like. Like, I say this every time I talk about her books, but I'm being so serious. Like, her writing style is so fun and easy to read and comprehend and just blow through all of her books. Like, I swear, even if you're not a fast reader, I've had friends read her series and like they can't stop reading them and they just read all of the books. Like, it's crazy. So if you're looking for like a long series, Abby Glines is your girl. So Rosemary Beach takes place in Florida about a bunch of friends who live in Rosemary Beach. So there's a lot of like beachy aspect. They're constantly at the country club and golfing and going to the beach, and so it's very like the vibes of summer, you know what I'm saying? So that series, really great. My favorite series by her, however, is the Seabreeze series, which takes place in a coastal town off the coast of Alabama, which I think is made up, but whatever. So it's like beachy, they live like on the coast, and this also similarly follows like a big group of friends. Every single book is about a different couple and the different endeavors that they go through, similar to Rosemary Beach, but I just love the characters in this series particularly more than Rosemary Beach. I feel like Rosemary Beach is more popular. I like Seabreeze more, that's just me. These two series are like the epitome of summer to me, and if you have not read them during the summer, or at all, you need to do it. It's just so pleasant and wonderful. Also, she has the Field Party series, which definitely takes place during the school year, but also is just like a super fun, fast series about a bunch of football players and different love interests that they have, so that's fun. She has the Sweet Little Thing series, which is like a trilogy. I think there's a 4th book now though, so I hate saying it's a trilogy if it's not, but I read the trilogy and that's super fun, fast-paced, also takes place during the summer. So if you haven't read Abby Glines, I'm like her spokeswoman at this rate, you should check her out because her books are just so summery, so wonderful, and I just can't help but recommend all of them, literally. So check her out if you've not already. This is my true endorsement for Abby Glines. Please go do it and then let me know how you like them. Yes, thank you. So those are all of my summer / beach read romance recommendations for this year. I hope that you've found something that sounds interesting to you. If not, tweet me, we can figure something out. I'll find you a different book. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see what's on my summer TBR, make sure you're following me on like Goodreads, Twitter, Instagram. I'm constantly talking about the books that I'm reading. Or if you guys want me to do like an actual video on my summer TBR and what I'm reading, I will work on that. I also want to do like reading vlogs. I know some people are kind of sick of just like this format of me giving recommendations. So if reading vlogs are something that you guys want to see, tell me and I'll try to do them. I'm just horrible at vlogging, but I'll try it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. Give me your best summer romance recommendation in a comment down below and maybe I will read it. But thank you guys so much. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day and I will see you hopefully very soon in my next video. Bye!